Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Algorithm Minds. My name is Aston Khorom and in this channel I teach programming skills in MATLAB, Python and R programming. I also teach theoretical as well as practical programming skills in data science, data analysis. So I request you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon button. I have been producing series of videos regarding MATLAB programming. These series of videos tutorials are specifically designed for beginners, so people who don't have any knowledge of how to write a code in MATLAB. So this is where I teach you about the fundamentals of MATLAB programming. So in today's lecture I'm going to give you an introduction to plots in MATLAB. Obviously you can plot some basic plots in MATLAB, but you can also plot some advanced plots in MATLAB. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to stick with some basic plots, how you can actually plot it, how you can actually label it, how you can actually plot legends of it. So the content of this today's video would be like, we will first discuss about the types of MATLAB plots, then we will discuss about how you can create 2D plots, create 2D line plots, create line plot with markers, and then finally how we can combine two plots at the same time. Okay. So that being said, let's move on to actually our practical programming section. So first of all, I'm going to declare X variable, which has a value that starts from 0 and ends at 5 with an interval of 0.05. If you don't know what do I mean by colon, I mean how actually I generated X values, I have a video where I teach about how to write matrices in MATLAB, how to define matrix in MATLAB, and how to generate numeric sequence, and how to do array indexing. So if you don't know, have an idea how I actually generated X values, so I suggest you to go to that video and watch and learn from that video as well. So we have X values. So let me just paste here and run this for you. Now you can see that X has a values that starts from 0 and ends at 5. Okay, so I have generated X value. Now Y will be a function of X such that Y is equal to sine X power 2. Okay, so where we put dot notation here, which means that every value will be squared individually. Okay, so that's what it means. Okay, so every value will be squared individually. So that's why we put dot power 2. So we have calculated Y. Now we have an X and Y values. So in order to plot a simple plot, we will simply write MATLAB function plot. Within brackets, we'll pass two input arguments. The first input argument will be the X value and the second input argument will be the Y values. And we will plot this. So this is a plot of X and Y. So that's how you simply plot in MATLAB. Okay. So now you understand how to plot in MATLAB. Okay. So we can also plot multiple lines in a single plot. Okay, so how we are going to do that? So in order to do that, we have to first define two functions. So I have defined y1 is equal to sine x power 2 and y2 is equal to cos x power 2. So these are the two functions I have defined, which I'm going to plot in MATLAB. Okay, so good, we are good to go. We have our y1, we have our y2. So once we have that, we are simply going to plot these two functions or these values in a single plot, and we are going to write plot plot bracket, then we will pass x value, then we will pass y function y1, then we will pass x value, then we will write y2 function, and we will close the bracket, and now you can see that we have our X value or y1 plot and we have our y2 plot. So that's how you can plot two lines in a single plot. Now let's move on and see how we can actually plot bar plots. So okay, in order to plot bar plot, we are first going to create our data. Okay, so I will create a series of X that starts with minus 2.9 and that ends at 2.9 with an interval of 0.2. So we have some like 30 values of x, and y will be a function of x such that minus x multiplied by x. So where, which is basically the square with the negative sign. Now we have our y values, which is a function of x. So in order to plot the bar chart, we are simply going to write bar and round brackets. We pass in first input argument which will be the x value, and second input argument will be the y value. So that's how you actually plot the bar chart in MATLAB, where values start from minus 2.9 to 2.9, and where we have y values, which is the function of exponential x square with minus. Now you know how to plot bar chart. Let's move on and plot some other plots. So we will create x and y values. I have created an x series from 0 to 10 with an interval of 0.25, and y is a function of x such that y is equal to sine x. And in order to plot a stair plot, first of all let me just enter these values x and y. Once we have that, I will simply write stairs, and I will pass input argument x comma y. It will give me a stair plot or stair step plot. Let's move on and actually plot a polar plot. So basically it's nothing something kind of an overwhelming concept. Basically the polar plot function draws a polar plot of angle values in theta versus the radius values in rho. So this is the theta, which starts from 0 and ends at pi, 2 pi, 360 degree, and with an interval of 0.01. Okay, so and then rho is a function of theta with this function here. Absolute represents it will calculate the absolute value, and then we have sine 2 theta multiplied by cos theta, and dot notation will be used to multiply each element individually or element wise. Let me just copy and paste here and run these values for you. So now you see that we have approximately 629 values in rho and theta. Now in order to plot polar plot, we're simply going to write POLAR, polar, PLOT, and then we will pass the input argument, which are theta, comma, rho, just like x and y values. It's as simple that. Okay, there's a typo mistake here. It should be R. So that's how you plot a polar plot. In the same way, we can actually plot stem plot. We have x values and y is a function of x. It could be anything. In this case, it's sine multiplied by exponential, but it could be anything. Okay. To make the case interesting, I have used sine x square multiply exponential minus 5x power, and it shows the plot something like that. And in order to plot stem plot, you will simply have to write stm and x comma y as an input argument. In the same way, you can plot scatter plot. For scatter plot, I have generated random integers. Basically, this is a function where I generate random values that has a maximum value of 100. It will start from 1 and maximum value of 100. Then it has only 1 row and 50 column values. So here we define the order, and first we define the maximum value, then we define the order. So basically I have created a matrix of 1 row and 50 column, where each value will be generated randomly from 1 to 100. I will do the same thing for y. Now we have done that, we are simply going to write scatter x comma y. That's it. Now see, we get the scatter plot. Now let's move on to some important concepts, how you can actually make your plot diagram more readable, more understandable. So wherever you're presenting, so the reader might know what is on the x-axis, what is on the y-axis, what are the labels, what is the title of the plot. So how you are going to do that? For you have created x, which is a linspace. The values start from 0 to 2 pi, and have created 100 values of it. Okay, so linspace actually creates a specific number of values. In our case, we have specified 100 that starts from 0 and ends at 2 pi. And then we have a y, which is a function of sine x. Okay. Now we will use a simple plot function, plot x comma y, but now you are more interested to label the x-axis and y-axis. So in order to do that, we are going to write x label, and within the round bracket, we will pass a string that has a value which will be displayed on x-axis. In the same way, we will write y label, and we will pass input argument a string that will be displayed on y-axis. In that case, you can see that the x label is x and y label is sine x. And then finally, we will write title, which displays the title on the plot. So that's how you can actually label a diagram, a plot in MATLAB. It's as simple as that. Now let's move on and actually see how we can plot multiple lines. By default, MATLAB creates the figure before each plotting command. For example, if you plotted one plot with the function plot plot, and when you plot another plot, it will raise the previous plot. Okay, so by default, it creates the figure before each plotting command. Use the figure command to open a new figure window. In this case, what you can actually do is use this statement here, figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. In this way, you will not lose your previous chart that has been plotted by plot function. So for example, if you have, you have used figure 1. For the other figure, you will use figure 2. So in this way, you will save this plot picture and it will not be clear. So we are using figure 1 here. You can plot multiple lines using the hold on commands. Okay. Now, what if you actually want to plot multiple things on a single plot? Instead of actually plotting to a different figure, you actually want to plot it on a single plot. So how you can do that? It's quite easy to do by using hold on. So if in that case we have x and y, we use plot x comma y. When we use hold on, what it will do, after that, whatever the plot command you are going to use, it will print or it will show the line on the same plot. And we use the command here, plot x comma y2. Okay, and then after you are okay, you don't want other lines to be included in that thing, so you will use hold off. In this way, you can plot multiple lines in MATLAB on a single plot. Now let's move on actually how you can actually deal with the appearance of the plot. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how you can actually change the appearance of the plot using the same plot here. Okay, so you're going to use the same plot function here. And now if you want to change the appearance of the plot, what it will do, you will pass an input argument to the plot function here, plot x comma y, and after that you are going to set the appearance of the line. In our case, we are setting it to colon. So basically it means that it will be dotted line. And for the plot 2, it will be something like this shape. Okay, so that's how you can actually change the appearance of the line by using an additional input argument in the plot function. And you can also add markers to it. For example, you have x values and you have y values. Let me run this code for you. And now in order to plot markers on your line plot, you simply write x comma y comma, then pass an input argument which is in the form of string, this, and hit enter. So that's how you can get markers on the line. And you can also do the same thing by multiple inputs in input argument. So you can do that, okay, as well. So earlier in this tutorial, I told you how to plot similar type of lines on a single plot, but you can apply the same analogy of hold on for different kinds of plot, and that is exactly what I have done in this last function here. I have created x values from 0 to 2 pi, and I have taken 60 values. Then I have function a, which is a function of x sin x, and we have b, which is a function cos x. I plotted x comma a plus b. Okay, and then for the second plot, instead of actually using plot function, I'm using stem function, and I'm passing two stem plot functions. So right now I will be having three plots in a single chart or in a single plot. This is for the line, and this is for the stem of function a and b. Let's move on and actually see how we can actually plot histogram. Okay, so first of all, we are going to have a number of data points, which in our case I set to 300. Then we will define the mean and standard deviation of the normally distributed random numbers. For mean I have 100, and for sigma, that is standard deviation, I have 15. Now using rand function, I have created a normally distributed random numbers series of normally distributed random number x here. Okay, and after that I will simply use hist comma x to plot the histogram. So in MATLAB you are going to plot the histogram by using this function here, hist x, where x is the normally distributed random number. So basically you're going to use hist here. That's it for now. I hope this tutorial have been helpful. If you need any help in plotting or advanced plotting, feel free to write down your comments. I will be happy to help you out. In the upcoming videos, I'm going to describe about if and else statement, conditional statements. I'm going to describe about loops and how to define functions in MATLAB. So I suggest you to subscribe to my channel so you can get the notification as soon as I publish the video. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you soon in the next video.